Good day. I welcome you all at the lecture on Fundamentals of Building Materials under the subject of Introduction to Civil Engineering, and the related subject code is CEHS 302 and the module number is 5. Myself Sandeepan Saha, Assistant Professor for the Department of Civil Engineering of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management under JIS Group. Let us first have some idea on the building materials or construction materials and what actually it is. Building or construction materials include manufactured products such as components, fittings, items of equipment and systems, naturally occurring materials such as stone, timber and thatch, and backfilling for excavations in connection with building works. The building material affects the vision of a structure as it deals with the appearance related qualities of the structure. It also impacts the durability of the structure. Naturally, building materials have been an important part of the architectural symbolism. Basically, the use of various building or construction materials is very old. It started thousands of years ago. Ancient Egypt experienced the applications of various construction materials in pyramids and in different monuments, and in other so-called ancient civilizations like the Babylonians, Romans, etc. As the time moves on, not only the technology involved in the application of various construction materials has been improved and evolved over the ages, but also the importance of construction materials remains the same. We have divided the entire lecture on the fundamentals of construction materials into several parts. The first part deals with the following topics. That means what we are going to cover in this lecture. And those are introduction to properties and application of stone or rock, introduction to properties and application of aggregates, introduction to properties and application of brick, introduction to properties and application of sand. Now, let us proceed to the detailed lecture. Stone or rock has been used as a building material for thousands of years. It has long been recognized as a material of great durability and superior artistic quality, the foremost choice for buildings associated with status, power, and religion. The pyramids in Giza, burial chambers in the UK, and the temples in Malta were all built from stone over 4,000 years ago, and they are still standing. The use of stone in construction has declined over the last 100 years, but it remains an aristocrat of building materials. Stones or rocks in general can be classified into several categories. As per the first classification, stones or rocks can be classified into igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks or stones are mainly formed through volcanic material such as magma. Underneath the earth's surface, liquid magma cooled and gets solidified. Mineral gases and liquids penetrated into the stone and created new crystalline formations with various colors. Granite and basalt are prime examples of igneous stones, whereas sedimentary stones come from organic elements such as glaciers, rivers, wind, oceans, and the plants. Tiny sedimentary pieces broke off from this element and accumulated to form rock beds. Through millions of years of heat and pressure, these pieces were bonded. Examples of sedimentary stones include limestones, sandstones, travertine, etc. Whereas metamorphic stones originates from a natural change from one type of stone to another type through the mixture of heat, pressure, and minerals. The change may be a development of a crystalline formation, a texture change, or a color change. Metamorphic stones include marble, slate, and serpentine, etc. As per the second classification of stone or rocks, that means based on stratification, Stones or rocks can be classified as stratified, unstratified, and foliated. Stones or rocks can also be classified as siliceous, argillaceous, and calcareous. In these pictures, you can see that stones or rocks have been used as a building material. These are classic examples of stones or rocks when used as a building material. While using a rock or stone as a construction material, the rock or stone should have certain engineering and physical properties so that they can be used appropriately or properly for various engineering works, and those properties are as follows. The first important property of a rock is its structure. The structure of the stone may be stratified, that means layered, or unstratified. Structured stones should be easily dressed and suitable for superstructure, whereas unstratified stones are hard and difficult to dress. Therefore, they are preferred for the foundation works. The next important property of a rock is its texture. Fine-grained stones with homogeneous distribution look attractive, and hence they are used for carving. Such stones are usually strong and durable. The next important property of a rock is its density. Denser stones are stronger, lightweight stones are weak. Hence, stones with specific gravity less than 2.4 are considered unsuitable for buildings. The next important property of a rock is its appearance. A stone with uniform and attractive color is durable if grains are compact. Marble and granite get very good appearance when they are polished. Hence, they are used for face works in the buildings. One of the most important properties of rock is its strength. It is an important property to be looked into before selecting stone as a building block. Indian standard codes recommend a minimum crushing strength of 3.5 Newton per millimeter square for any building block. The table given below shows the crushing strength of various stones. We are talking about this table. This table deals with the crushing strength of various common building stones, such as for trap, the crushing strength is around 300 to 350 Newton per millimeter square. For basalt, the crushing strength is around 153 to 189 Newton per millimeter square, whereas for granite, the crushing strength is around 104 to 140 Newton per millimeter square. Whereas for slate, the crushing strength is around 70 to 210 Newton per millimeter square. For marble, the crushing strength is around 72 Newton per millimeter square. Sandstone has a crushing strength at around 65 Newton per millimeter square, whereas the limestone has a crushing strength at around 55 Newton per millimeter square. In case of laterite, the crushing strength is around 1.8 to 3.2 Newton per millimeter square. So you can see that laterite is not fit to use as a building block. Due to non-uniformity of the material, usually a factor of safety of 10 is used to find the permissible stress in a stone. Hence, even laterite can be used safely for a single-story building, because in such structures, expected load can hardly give a stress of 0.15 Newton per millimeter square. However, in stone masonry buildings, care should be taken to check the stresses when the beams are placed on laterite wall. There are other important properties of rock, such as hardness. It is an important property to be considered when stone is used for flooring and pavement. Coefficient of hardness is to be found by conducting tests on standard specimen in Doris testing machine. For roadworks, coefficient of hardness should be at least 17. For building works, stones with coefficient of hardness less than 14 should not be used. Then comes the important property of rock, that is percentage wear. It is measured by attrition test. It is an important property to be considered in selecting aggregate for roadworks and railway ballast. A good stone should not show wear of more than 2%. The next important property is porosity and absorption. All stones have pores and hence they absorb water. The reaction of water with stones causes disintegration. Absorption test is specified as percentage of water absorbed by the stone when it is immersed under water for 24 hours. For a good stone, it should be as small as possible and in no case more than 5. Then comes the important property, that is weathering of rocks. Rain and wind cause loss of good appearance of stones. Hence, stones with good weather resistance should be used for face works. The next important property of rock is toughness. It is the resistance to impact and it is determined by applying impact test. Stones with toughness index more than 19 are preferred for road works, whereas toughness index in between 13 and 19 is considered as medium tough, and stones with toughness index less than 13 are considered as poor stones. The next important property is resistance to fire. Sandstones resist fire better, whereas argillaceous materials, though poor in strength but good in resisting fire. Another important property of rock is ease in dressing. Cost of dressing contributes to cost of stone masonry to a great extent. Dressing is easy in stones with lesser strength. Hence, an engineer should look into sufficient strength rather than high strength while selecting stones for building works. Another important property of rock is seasoning of rocks. The stones obtained from the quarry contain moisture in the pores. The strength of the stone improves if this moisture is removed before using the stone. The process of removing moisture from pores is called the seasoning process. The best way of seasoning is to allow the stone to the action of nature for 6 to 12 months. This is very much required in the case of laterite stones. From this discussion, it is clear that certain properties are very much important for selecting a rock to use it for various construction works. So, stones or rocks can be used in hydraulic structures like dams and bridges. Stones are used in retaining wall masonry to retain soil. They are used as road metal in road construction. Stones are used as ballast for permanent way in railways. Rocks are used to make concrete in the form of coarse aggregate. Another important building material is aggregate. In order to use aggregate as a construction material, it should have some certain properties. That means aggregates should be sufficiently strong. Aggregate surface should be rough and free from cracks. Aggregates should have good soundness. They should have good adhering with binding material. Fine aggregates are used to prepare cement mortar, lime mortar and cement concrete. Coarse aggregates are used to prepare cement concrete bituminous pavement, rigid pavement, etc. They are used in construction of beams, columns, slab, lintel, etc. If the size of the aggregate is less than or equal to 4.75 mm, then the aggregate is termed as fine aggregates. And if the size of the aggregate is more than 4.75 mm and up to 80 mm, then the aggregate is termed as coarse aggregate. These are the pictures of aggregates which are commonly used for building construction. Advantages of using aggregate as construction material: because they are insoluble in water, they are of moderate weight, they are strong and durable, they have resistance to scratches, they have resistance to corrosion and decay. In other words, aggregates are important for various construction works. Another important building material is brick. A brick is a type of block used to make walls, pavements and other elements in masonry construction. Traditionally, the term brick referred to a unit composed of fired clay, but it is now used to denote rectangular units made of clay-bearing soil, sand and lime or concrete materials. The good bricks which are to be used for the construction of important structures should possess the following qualities. That means the color of the brick should be red or copper and uniform. it should be well burned in kilns. The surface should be even and free from cracks. The edges should be sharp. In general, there are two types of bricks. One is conventional or traditional brick, and the second one is standard or modular brick. The size of the traditional brick is 23 cm in length, 11.4 cm in width, and 7.6 cm in height. Whereas in case of standard or modular brick, the size is 19 cm in length, 9 cm in width, and 9 cm in height, as you can see from this picture. As we know, bricks are very important for construction works. Therefore, being a civil engineer, we should be very much careful in order to maintain the necessary quality checks while using the bricks in construction. So the question is how we can do this, and the answer is that there should be some checks for parameters, and those are as follows. The first one is to check for water absorption of the bricks. In this test, 5 bricks are taken and the bricks are weighed dry, and the average dry weight of 5 bricks is calculated. Bricks are then immersed in water for a period of 24 hours. After 24 hours of immersion, bricks are weighed again and the average of 5 bricks is again calculated. The difference of the final average weight and the initial average weight indicates the amount of water absorbed by the bricks. In any case, it should not exceed 20% of average weight of dry bricks. The next important parameter check is visual inspection. In this test, bricks are closely inspected for its shape. The bricks of good quality should be uniform in shape and should have truly rectangular shape with sharp edges. This test should be conducted in a well-ventilated room. The brick is placed vertically in a dish of an approximate size of 30 cm by 20 cm with 2.5 cm immersed in distilled water. The whole water is allowed to be absorbed by the brick and evaporated through it. After the bricks appear dry, a similar quantity of water is placed in the dish and the water is allowed to evaporate as before. The brick is to be examined after the second evaporation and reported as follows. When there is no perceptible deposit of salt found, then the efflorescence is termed as nil. When not more than 10% of the area of brick is covered with salt, then the efflorescence is considered as slight. When there is heavy deposit covering 50% of the area of the brick but unaccompanied by powdering or flaking of the surface, then the efflorescence is considered as moderate. When there is heavy deposit covering more than 50% of the area of the brick accompanied by powdering or flaking of the surface, then the efflorescence is considered as heavy. And when there is heavy deposit of salts accompanied by powdering and or flaking of the surface, and this deposition tends to increase in the repeated weighting of the specimen, then the efflorescence is considered as serious. Bricks for general construction should not have more than slight to moderate efflorescence. Another important parameter check is the check for dimensional tolerance. In this case, 20 number of bricks are selected at random to check measurement of length, width and height. These dimensions are to be measured in 1 or 2 lots of 10 each as shown in the figure. Variation in dimensions are allowed only within narrow limits, that is plus minus 3% for class 1 and plus minus 8% for other classes of bricks. Hardness of brick is another important parameter check. In this test, a scratch is made on brick surface with the help of a fingernail. If no impression is left on the surface, then the brick is treated as to be sufficiently hard. Another important parameter check is soundness of the brick. In this case, 2 bricks are taken, one in each hand, and they are struck with each other lightly. A brick of good quality should not break and a clear ringing metallic sound should be produced. Structure of a brick is one of the important parameters. In this case, a brick is broken and its structure is examined, it should be homogeneous, compact, and free from any defects such as holes, lumps, etc. So, from this discussion, it is clear that there are certain parameters which need to be checked and examined thoroughly before using a brick at a construction work. Bricks play a very important role in the field of civil engineering construction. Bricks are used as an alternative of stones in construction purpose. Here are some main uses of construction brick as given below. Bricks can be used for the construction of walls of any size. Bricks can be used for the construction of floors. Bricks are used for the construction of arches and cornices. They are also used for the construction of brick retaining wall. Bricks are often used for making khua, which is basically the broken bricks of required size. This khua is used as an aggregate for producing the concrete. Bricks are also used for the manufacture of surkhi, which is basically the powdered bricks, and this surkhi is used for making lime plaster, lime concrete, etc. So, from this discussion, it is clear that brick is an important building material which can be used for various construction purposes. Sand has been a major building material which is in massive use for various construction works. It is a naturally available material and it is durable. It can mix with binding materials very easily. It has a shiny luster and it is of whitish brown color. In order to use sand for construction works, sand should possess certain properties, and those are as follows. The grains of sand should be clean and it should be well graded. The maximum permissible clay content in sand should be within a range of 3 to 4% and it should contain sharp angular grains. The sand should not contain salts which attract moisture from the atmosphere. There are mainly two types of sands which can be used for various construction purposes. One is natural sand and number two is artificial sand. Natural sand is obtained from pits, riverbeds and seabeds, whereas artificial sand is formed by the decomposition of sandstone due to various weathering effects. And based on the grain size, sand can be classified into several categories. One is very coarse sand, two is coarse sand, number three is medium sand, number four is fine sand, and number five is very fine sand. From this table, you can see that the grain size of very coarse sand is in between 1 and 2 mm, whereas for coarse sand, the grain size is in between 0.5 and 1 mm. In case of medium sand, the grain size is in between 1/4 to half millimeter, where in case of fine sand, the grain size is in between 125 to 250 micrometer. In case of very fine sand, the grain size is in between 62.5 to 125 micrometer. Sand is useful in various construction activities like masonry work, plaster work, flooring and concrete work. Sand is also used in cement mortar, plain cement concrete, reinforced cement concrete and pre-stressed concrete as a key ingredient in building construction. In this lecture, we have covered certain aspects of various construction materials. In the next part, we will focus on some other construction materials. Thank you.